Today I want to talk about microwave pressing flowers, and I'm going to go into some tips and techniques and a couple of different ideas of how you can do it. I'm not going to actually use a microwave to demonstrate. Everybody's microwave is different, and everybody has the ability to either set different temperature settings, like from 10% to 100%, or to, like my older, cheaper one, it just had one speed. So everybody's microwave is different. So use these tips to adjust your microwave and do some testing. Hopefully by the time you get done watching this video, you will feel empowered enough and motivated enough to go ahead and do some tests on your own. And if this sounds like something that you might be interested in, then please stay tuned and let's get started. The two main ways that I press flowers in the microwave is either with a microfleur, and the microfleur comes in two sizes. This is the max, it's a 9-inch square, and they also have another kind which is 5 inches. I have and do sell presses, but I only have one microfleur left, and then I have a couple of other presses that are just the regular ones with the cardboard. And once those are gone, I will not be getting any more. But for those of you that have a microfleur press already, or that want to think about some other ideas, then that's what we're going to be talking about. The first thing I want to go into is the other ideas, because I want to spend a little bit more time on the microfleur, talking about some things to be successful with that. The other way that I've pressed flowers in the microwave is I've just simply taken two plates, or you can take some what do I want to call it? Some ceramic blocks or something, tiles, anything that's microwave safe. You could take some, 6x6 or 4x4 or larger ceramic tiles, and if they're square, as long as they can turn in your microwave, you'll be fine. But for this show and tell, I'm just pulled a couple of plates that fit inside of each other. And what I would do here is that I would take some paper, this is newspaper, something absorbent. I would probably even do more layers of newspaper for absorbency. So you can put as many layers as you want. You hear me talk about in traditional pressing how you always want to use absorbent papers and not press between things that are non-absorbent. Well, in the microwave, unless you're using like a bisque or a ceramic that doesn't have any glaze on it, that's going to be very difficult to achieve. So sometimes we just have to bite the bullet and figure out some workarounds. So some layers of newspaper on whatever your substrate is for the microwave. And then I always put my flowers between a paper sandwich. And so then I'm going to put down my paper, then I'm going to put my flowers on. You'll take whatever you're going to press, and then you're going to put your other piece of paper on top, some absorbency. Take your plate or your ceramic tile or whatever you're going to use. And then what I use for pressure, because you want something heavy on top to press them down where they're microwaving, is I have some ceramic bowls. And what I do is I take the bowl and I fill it with water, and then I put it on top of these plates to give it pressure, and then I will start microwaving. And the same microwaving techniques that I use for this is the same that I'm going to be talking about for the microfleur. So rather than repeat myself twice, then please stay tuned when I start talking about actually microwaving the flowers and time and all of that kind of stuff, because the application is the same. This should give you some ideas on ways to microwave flowers if you don't have a regular microwave flower press. So I'm going to put this aside, and now I want to talk about the microfleur. So when you get the microfleur, if you find one to purchase, and like I say, I have one left as of right now in my Etsy store. When you open the box, you're going to get a little pamphlet, and then you're going to get the microfleur. And in the microfleur, you're going to get these 4 clips, and you are going to get some wool pads. You're going to get two, they look like some sort of cotton inner liners, which I'll show you with my press in a minute. I'm not going to take this apart because this is brand new and this is the last one that I have for sale. But this is how it will come. This is my well-used press, and I'll show you what I've done to it. Okay, so as I was mentioning when I showed you the new one, you're going to get these 4 clips. You're going to get what I call the plastic platens that have holes in it. Then you're going to get these wool liners. And then you're going to get 2 of these, they're kind of like linen. I don't know if they're cotton or linen or what they're made out of, but they're some sort of material. And then your booklet like I talked about. Now, when I first started using this, I just, you put the thick piece on the bottom, and then they had you putting the flowers on this piece of fabric, and then putting this piece of fabric on top, then putting your other piece of wool fiber here, and then putting it back together. Well, I learned real quick, as you can see, that it started staining this fabric, which, you know, is fine. Flowers are going to stain things. I don't have a problem with that. But I thought, you know what, I always press my flowers between paper, and I'm just going to do the same thing with the microwave press. So what I did was I cut down different paper, and this is just, you've seen me talk about this brown paper before. It's just a thicker absorbent paper, of which I don't have much left, but I still use it when I can. And then this is just regular copy paper. So whatever you have to use, as long as it absorbs rather than being glossy. So these are some I've got already cut down for use. So what I'll do is I will set that up. I'll put my paper down. Then I'll put my flowers on here, put my other paper on top, put my other piece of fabric on top, and then, of course, finish my sandwich here. Put the platen on top. So we're going to pretend like we're getting it ready for the microwave. Then you want to take, and these clip on like that. You do all 4 sides. I'll go ahead and just do it. Very easy. I do really like the simplicity of this. You don't have to worry about anything. It's all right here and convenient. Now, here's the part that gets a little bit tricky, and what I consider the tips and techniques part of this. You're going to put it in your microwave. If you have a microwave that you can change your temperature settings, I would suggest maybe starting out at 50% power. And you only want to do it for about 20, 30, maybe 40 seconds. And I just sit there and I actually count, because my old microwave didn't have, well, my old microwave was high power, and I'd put it on for about 20 or 30 seconds, and I just count, because it didn't even have a counter thing. And I just 1, 2, 3, you know, that kind of thing. My new one, I can do temperature settings, and so the last time I used this, I put it on 50% power, and I think I counted to about 20 or 30 seconds before I took it. So we're not talking long, because you don't want to overdo them. So put them in. You're going to have to play around, and yes, you're going to have to test. And this is true of both methods, whether you're using the plate method that I just showed you or you're using this, because these don't breathe, as in their non-porous surfaces, you don't want to do them very long. So the point being, you're going to put it in for about 20, 30 seconds. You're going to take it out and take your clips off, which only takes a second. And what you're going to find out is that when you gently lift the plastic platen up, there's going to be a bunch of condensation, and it's also going to be hot, so be careful. And so what I do is I grab a paper towel, and I wipe the inside of the platen and get the moisture off. Then I gently roll back, and these will be damp, roll back till I get to my paper sandwich, and I'll gently roll it back until I can peek and see. And then I'll look and I'll see, okay, how dry is it? And generally after 20 to 40 seconds, it won't be dry enough. They'll just be very limp and very damp. But I still want to look. So I'll put this back, I'll wipe this off. I will turn it over. I'll gently lift this side off, and I'll wipe the moisture off of here. And again, as I mentioned a minute ago, if it were the plate, I'd lift the plate up, I'd peek at the flowers, and I'm sure that this side of the plate, well, I'm not sure I know, this side of the plate is going to be condensation, so same thing, you're going to wipe it off. There's no holes in here, so the moisture can't vent out. Once you've wiped your condensation off, then clip it up again, put it in for another 20 to 40 seconds, depending upon the power of your microwave, and do the same thing. Lift it off, wipe the condensation, peek at how they're doing, put this back on, turn it over, wipe the condensation, clip it back. I generally find unless I'm doing something really thick, and again, it's the amount of times that you have to put this in and give it a quick burst is going to be depending upon how thick your flowers are. If they're super thin and sheer, maybe, once or twice would be enough. If they're thicker, then it's going to take longer. This particular piece that I have in here, which is a piece of oregano floret, is because this part is fairly thick, it's probably going to take about 3 or 4 times, maybe 5 if I'm using a low power in the microwave, which is why you want to check. Once they get pretty dry, but not brittle, you don't want to over nuke them, because then they're just going to get brittle, and then they're going to want to, well, once you get a flower that's too brittle, you know what I'm talking about, they just want to start crumbling. You want to err on the side of being slightly damp, and I mean very slightly. I don't mean super damp, but just, you'll know once you do this a couple of times, rather than being brittle. Once you feel like you've gone about as far as you want to go with a microwave, then you're going to take this all apart. You'll have your paper sandwich that has your flowers in it, and then you're simply going to lift this up and put it in a non-glossy book, magazine, some other apparatus, and then just let them finish, I call it curing, just let them finish drying for a day or two before you use them. If you don't want to wait and you want to make something now, then go ahead and microwave them a little bit more until they're truly dry. But I don't tend to try to be in that big of a hurry, so I try to think a day or two ahead of time, if I can. It's not always possible. So then you just put this into your book or your medium, close it, go set it somewhere, put some books on top, because you want to keep it weighted down while it finishes curing. And even if they're super dry, you still want to always store your pressed flowers in something to keep a little bit of pressure on it, because they're flat after all. For example, these flowers have been pressed in the traditional press, or it could be the microwave. It wouldn't matter. Either way, when I store flowers, I put them between magazines, and this is how they sit. Now, I don't put any additional weight on top once they're thoroughly dry, because these pages of these books is enough to keep them flat. But you want to do something. You want to keep them in some way of keeping them flat. You might be asking yourself, why microwave flowers? There's a couple things. First, I want to say that I typically traditionally press flowers, which is mostly what you'll see on my channel when you see me talking about pressing flowers, and I've got a lot of videos that go into that. But the times that I use the microwave, and yes, I do and have used the microwave, is when I can't get them through the traditional press, or there's something out there that I want in a hurry because there's only a few of them, or other reasons that you'll make determinations of as you're using your microwave press. Some flowers that are more, or leaves that have more water content, that no way are you going to get them through a traditional press. I will try in the microwave because sometimes you can get something through the microwave because of how quickly it dries the flour that you would never be able to get through traditionally because they would just brown out and rot, even if you rotate them around. So it's an experiment. And if you try the microwave or even a traditional press and it doesn't work out for you, don't get disappointed. You remember that old saying, it's the journey, not the destination? Part of what I find fascinating about this whole subject area is just learning. What does this do? The curiosity. If I do that, will it turn out? Won't it turn out? If I try it to do it a little differently, what might happen? So approach it more from an experimental aspect to see what happens, rather than getting your hopes up that, oh, I'm just going to put something in here and magic is going to happen, because that doesn't usually happen that easily. The magic is kind of something you come by and learn and experiment with. I love my microfleur. I will use it more than I'll ever use a plate because it's convenient, although they're expensive. So, shop around, and, there may be other brands besides this particular brand, but this is the brand that I brought in to sell, and and uh, and I happen to use and I happen to like. As long as you remember to take it apart and wipe the condensation and check it out, and experiment. I can't. I'm thinking, is there anything else that I really need to say about it? If you have any other questions about how to use it, maybe put something down in the comments section, because I may have forgotten to touch on that subject. But this should give you a pretty good overview of where to start and what to do and how to do it. So having said that, I hope that you have a great day, and I truly appreciate you tuning in, and to all the people that have subscribed. So thank you very much.